Welcome to Viva Brazil, your #1 show for anything and everything Brazil 2014. Now it's Wednesday and it's ladies' night, and I'm joined with these two gorgeous ladies on the substitute bench. To my right, I have Emlyn Valerie Abuko. I worked really hard to get that one right. She does many things, and one of the things she does best is analyze football. And to my left, we have Charity Wanja, and she's a sports reporter for Muga FM. Now, we need you guys to talk to us. We're going to have amazing, steamy conversations to do with the World Cup 2014. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram using the hashtag Viva Brazil, and we're also taking in SMSs on our SMS line 22422. Let us get the conversation started. Waigamora.
Right, Sadie, it's so good to hear from you. And of course, it's an exciting episode. Now, today and tomorrow is unique because we actually don't have World Cup matches, but that doesn't mean that Viva Brazil will not go on. Just keep it right here. We have so much more lined up. And the first thing I want to talk about today is our shirt wall, which is actually a tribute to Africa. Now, it doesn't matter how Africa performed. At the end of the day, we are all Africans, and the Harambee Stars may not have qualified, but these 5 teams did. And so Ghana, Algeria, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Nigeria, these are their jerseys, and we paid tribute to them one last time before we go, of course, to the next round of the matches, which actually begin this Friday. Remember, talk to us on social media. We've got so much lined up today. We also have a couple of interesting clips that we'll be playing for you later on, including His Excellency the Deputy President William Ruto's view on the World Cup, which team he supports, and in addition to that, what he thinks about the Harambee Stars, whether the Harambee Stars will qualify during the reign of the Jubilee government. We also have a report from Rio with Bernard Dong. It's a fantastic show. Sit back, relax, strap your seatbelt if you have to, because this is one roller coaster that we have today on Viva Brazil. Mike Okinyi, what's happening on the football pitch?
Thank you. Today I've been switched around. Our director is one man who does not like sitting in one place. So today I'm on that side, today I'm on this side. I'm still struggling to sit still on this pitch that Waiga Mora loves very much. But this is the show that gives you everything and anything Brazil. Waiga forgot to tell you that we were supposed to have Ababu Namwamba on the show today. Mheshimiwa Ababu Namwamba. We believe he's somewhere. If he walks in late, we shall accommodate him. If he does not walk in late, we are still waiting for him. If you are near him or if you can get to where he is, mwambie unangojewa studio. Viva Brazil kiti imewekwa hapa, but we've got an able substitute for that. Don't worry. Well, we kick off the show. It will go down in the history books as one of the 2014 hot matches in Brazil. After a barren 19 minutes full of drama, Belgium held their nerve to eliminate the United States.
Now, on social media, that encounter had been dubbed Obama versus Origi, and later on we'll be able to see some clips of President Obama watching that particular match and the kind of excitement that was around him as he was cheering on his team. But right now I'm joined by two. Now, in fact, let me start this way. When you normally have a sports show, you assume that you'll see a group of 4 or 5 men sitting here talking football. But the ladies are watching football. They're enjoying their tweeting. And today we decided to have a ladies show just to see what the ladies know about football, if they know their football, or if they just like the matches and that's it, nothing more after the World Cup. And so I'm joined again by Valerie and Charity just to analyze some of those matches. And the one name that Kenyans were looking for, talking about in yesterday's match was Divock Origi.
Only 1 or 2 people, all of them are just, and the other people are not stars. Their coach is a strange coach. He's not a very good coach in as far as club competition, competitive football, especially club football. But here he comes, he's trying to manage that whatever happens at the end of the day, they win. They're winning narrowly, so I don't know whether it's the players who haven't gelled but it's a very young team. That's the other thing, it's a very young team.
Okay.
So maybe they're still trying to learn a few things.
Charity, why do you think Divock was unable to score? Chance after chance after chance, and we can definitely rerun those clips again, Buona Director, but at the end of it all, what matters is the scoreline, and Divock Origi was not on the scoreline. What do you think went wrong?
I think he underwent a lot of pressure because after he scored the first game.
Starting him was a gamble.
Yeah.
Because I think what they're looking at is the pace. Because all the stats were that Belgium don't score until after the 70th minute. So yesterday they were clearly out to get early goals, and they thought maybe if they put Origi to start, that pace will give the US defense a problem. It actually did, but Tim Howard was the difference between Origi and everybody else. And I think coming into extra time, it was a masterclass. It was the ace card that the coach Wilmot played was actually very good because he put Lukaku on the bench, and Lukaku knew this is where I prove who is the #1 striker for Belgium.
Valerie, Tim Howard, his contribution to yesterday's match, it was Belgium versus Tim Howard. Your take on that?
Tim Howard, that's his consistency. That's the thing he does. He's that goalkeeper who's going to frustrate you. Not only for US, at Everton, not at Man United so much, but like at Everton. People shoot. This guy doesn't want to be scored. I don't know what it is about him, but he's not one of the easy goalkeepers to beat. And I also remember he reminded me of Oliver Kahn. Yeah, Oliver Kahn was that goalkeeper who just frustrates strikers. You'll beat the defenders, but you won't beat Oliver Kahn. So that's what Tim Howard was trying to do there.
But finally he gave way. He leaked. Why? Why do you think he leaked?
The game was going, maybe he got, maybe fatigue. That may be the only thing I can think of. Maybe fatigue.
Maybe fatigue.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that, then wouldn't be talking right here. Fantastic. Of course, Charity, your take on that. Howard, and also maybe you can touch on the keepers that we've seen during this World Cup. Ochoa, who Mike says is from his home village, and others who really Subaland. Yes. And many, your take on the keeping that you've seen at the World Cup so far.
Tim Howard carried the USA. He was like, it's me and the Belgium. So he gave his best at everything. I liked how he frustrated the shots, the saves that he made, because he has also gotten in the history of the World Cup. Since I think with the most saves in this particular game. Yeah, he's gotten the most saves. And then there is Ochoa. Ochoa is good also. He's also carried his team.
Then Lionel Messi continues to be the difference between Argentina and their opponents as another moment of magic set up Angel Di Maria for the only goal of the match against Switzerland. It was a nervy match that could have gone either way, and Argentina was lucky to nip it in extra time.
Right, before we actually discuss that match, I should have said this earlier. One of our biggest talking points today will be Divock Origi. Michael King will go deeper into his story a bit later on. So send us your SMSs and your tweets regarding that young man, what he's doing, and if you ever feel that he may come back to Kenya, maybe as a player, maybe even as a coach in the future, send us your thoughts and we'll try and go through as many of them as we can. Hashtag Viva Brazil on Twitter and on Facebook. And of course, 22422. Yesterday we actually had a very heated conversation here. John Kianda from Hot 96. And today he says that Argentina is the weakest team to go through to the next round. Do you agree, and why?
I agree very much with that, together with Brazil. These are teams right now which are just surviving. These teams are not doing what they should do. Also, okay, for Brazil, I can excuse them. I can say maybe they're going through some element of change or something. But Argentina has no excuse. They're just, flying by under the radar. Let's just see what we can get here. Somebody was saying at the end of the day, a win is a win. But you have to do a bit more. You have to step up, because there's other teams that are there are really fighting. The other teams are really fighting for all their points. They're not leaving anything to chance.
Parting short, Charity, Brazil, Argentina, are those the weakest teams that have gone through to the next round?
First, I'm a staunch supporter of Brazil.
As you can see with the jersey that you have on.
Yeah, but Brazil also, they're not giving me what I want. I need, when I'm seated on my seat, I need to be at the edge, not at the seat comfortably. But they're just like, okay, is there something else going on? Nothing. It's like they're undermining some teams, which is not good. The same case applies to Argentina. It's like let us survive, we see how far we can go.
We can go with that.
Yeah, it's not like they're aiming to win the tournament.
Wow. Both my analysts here are feeling, of course, that Brazil, Argentina, don't hold your breath with those teams. If they make it, we'll be surprised. That is the finals. But if they don't, you'll not be surprised. Because so far, let's be honest, the performance has not been up to par. Michael Kinney, on our, I think it's our Maracana Stadium, our mini Maracana Stadium, just weighing on that as well.
I'm surprised that you're talking about Argentina not playing up to their standards. When has Argentina ever played better than what they're playing now? When have they ever played better than this? From the days of Diego Maradona to Garrincha and everybody else, when did they ever play better?
So, what are expectations too high?
Your expectations are too high because you're looking at Lionel Messi, you're looking at Angel Di Maria, you're looking at Higuain.
Yes.
There is no time that you will see Argentina play better than they are doing. Actually, they're playing efficient football. That's all you need. Reminds me of Greece 2004 when they played the European Cup. Everybody said Greece are just winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. 1-0 until they lifted the trophy. You had nothing else to say about that 1-0. And then you need two things to be a champion. You need one guy to carry the team in attack. You need a defender that will cover the goalkeeper and a good goalkeeper. Argentina have got those ones. And a little bit of luck. The difference between Argentina and Brazil is that Argentina's defense is tighter than Brazil's defense. That is where the difference
But Mike Okinyi, if I can just get into this topic as well, the feeling that after having played a couple of matches, is there that one match that Argentina have played that is memorable, where you say you saw them threading their passes properly, they scored? When you look at the Germans, when you look at the Dutch, when you look at the French, as much as not everyone has surprised us in terms of being held till extra time, nevertheless, the French have had a very good game. I remember their Switzerland game. That was fantastic. When I look at the Germans, what they did to Portugal, at least I can sit back and say that was a good match. When I look at the Dutch, with their 5-1 over Spain, I can talk about them with pride. Argentina, Mike?
If you're able to break down tough defenses, Iran, for example, Switzerland is another one. Go past Nigeria with all the energy and their hard tackling. There is something you're doing right. Tom is saying he cannot wait for his part to come in. I'll rope in him here. Tom Bwada, able replacement for Mheshimiwa Babu na Mwamba.
Here's my point. What has Argentina done? Do you expect them to score 9 goals? They've won virtually all their matches up to now. And you want them to beat big teams. The big teams are all home. Italy is at home. Uruguay is at home. England is at home. So who do you want Argentina to beat?
They've won all matches.
I think you guys are playing the devil's advocate here. Secretly, you know, Argentina have not lived up to the billing. But
Wahiga, moving forward, it's even easier now for Argentina because the tough guys are out. The so-called powerhouses are what are coming up.
I've been humbled.
Now they're playing teams that are there by merit. Teams that have a formula of winning. Not teams that have a formula of defending. Winning. It's either you move forward and score goals or you're kicked out.
And Mike, on top of that, on top of the good goalkeeper, good person, you need also an able coach. Coach Sabella did a very bold thing to leave out Tevez from his team. When it was a big public outrage about, you know, where is Tevez? In fact, there's a tango song that was composed where Sabella bring Tevez to Brazil. But then he became bold enough. And if you look at Argentina, they played the same football, the same kind of game, 120 minutes, waiting for that one opportunity. And they get it, they get their goal, they get their point.
Mike, this debate can go on forever. I think you can pick it.
Yes, it will go on forever. Now, Chris Mbugwa, before City goes on her magic wall that is up now, Chris Mbugwa says, Waiga More and Michael Okinyi, who is this Buana Director on Viva Brazil? You keep saying Buana Director. Well, Chris Mbuka, Roba is the director of the show. When we say Buana Director, we are referring to him as the director of the show so that we cue him on what to play. We've got a lot of things on Viva Brazil. It's a technical show, and on the clips that he has on his master play, it's called the master play. Amepanga hapo clips mingi sana, ziko kama 40. Ukisema Buana Director, if we can have the Brazil goals or the Ochoa saves, he knows exactly what to play on the master play. And
if I can add, Mike, on the last day, we will bring the director and unveil him here for you. So keep watching Viva Brazil is all I can.
Well, before I go back to CD with social media, I will read what we have for the Harambee Stars. We promised you yesterday that we'll show you what Harambee Stars were doing. And the national football team, Harambee Stars, is now inspired to perform better after concluding their trip to Brazil to watch the FIFA World Cup. The squad, which was sponsored by President Uhuru Kenyatta, is back home after a 5-day tour of the South American nation with a lot of lessons learned ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Lesotho in 3 weeks' time. Bernard Ndong is in Brazil and has more.
The Harambee Stars World Cup dreams were dashed by Nigeria in the qualifiers late last year. Their plans to attend the sport's biggest showpiece were nipped at the bud, and traveling to Brazil seemed like building castles in the air.
James Situma.
President Uhuru Kenyatta did the unexpected and declared that he would sponsor the team to watch a World Cup match in Brazil. The squad traveled to the South American nation last week, a more than 15-hour trip that saw the Stars make stops in Ethiopia, Togo, Sao Paulo, and finally Brasilia. Brazil is the capital of Brazil, and the Stars will have the privilege of watching Portugal face off with Ghana in the Mane Garrincha Stadium. The stadium, with a seating capacity of nearly 70,000 people, is one of the biggest in Brazil.
I've never been in a stadium of 67,000 people. And all of them everybody in the stands had an opinion. Oh, you should have done this, you should have done this, you should have done. So I get to learn that no matter what you do, right or wrong, people will have to judge you, because 67,000 people, all of them, they're all coaches.
As an African team, it was obvious the Stars were supporting their fellow stars from West Africa. The game proved to be quite a spectacle, and the Harambee Stars enjoyed each and every minute. Ghana's World Cup hopes ended with a 2-1 loss, with Cristiano Ronaldo the tormentor-in-chief.
I'm very grateful to the president. I got to see Cristiano Ronaldo. That's the first thing. And niliget kuona ni binadamu tu kama sisi. Ni sisi ndo tunamwekanga juu sana laini. Akona errors too like us. What we do in Kenya.
The Harambee Stars were also involved in some football workshops and met the Kenyan ambassador to Brazil, Keremi Kaberia, who said there were plans to have coaching exchange programs with the football powerhouse.
It's an opportunity of our lifetime. We came here with a sole mission just to try and learn whatever we missed to come and play in this World Cup. And for sure we've got more than what we bargained for or what we came here to do.
The team is now back in Kenya. The national football team is confident ahead of their next international assignment. The team will be facing Lesotho in the second round of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Reporting for Citizen Sports, I'm Bernard Ndong in Brazil.
Now, for those who asked if the Harambee Stars actually went to Brazil, there you go. And on the same Harambee Stars note, Deputy President William Ruto says he doesn't think Harambee Stars will qualify for the World Cup anytime soon. Why? Let's listen to him up next.
Twice in 2 months. Finally, are you watching the World Cup? Which team are you supporting?
You know, my team is Brazil. But before I go to Brazil, I was a supporter of all the teams from Africa. I was disappointed the other night when Nigeria, of course, lost and got out. I am also aware that my team, Brazil, performed. Their performance has not been very good. Right. They just managed through a penalty shootout the other day.
You get the time to watch these matches?
I watch the matches, but surprisingly, it's actually my son and my wife. If I get home, they are the ones who tell me, oh, this is what has happened. But I got a bit of time when I went to the AU meeting. I got a bit of time to watch the matches.
Right, finally, Deputy President, will Harambee Stars ever qualify in their reign in the executive? Hoping, like you people, like the President said, he'll go for 10 years. Maybe you can give us an assurance or something. Do you think we can qualify for the World Cup under the Jubilee reign? You're shaking your head.
I'm telling you, Hussein, that is one big question which I am asking myself. You know, we haven't done well.
Right.
We've really not done well. Because, you know, we've been overrun by... There was even a time we were defeated by Somalia, for example.
What is the problem with Somalia?
And you know, those guys are struggling. You know, they don't have a government. They are struggling. They have they have many problems. But still, they could, you know, assemble the energy to beat us.
Yes.
So I think that is one challenge.
Yeah.
That if you saw the president pay, you know, for
them to go
to the World Cup, he really wanted them. He was making a statement. And I saw one tweet somebody sent and said, the Kenyan team is the only team that will be in the World Cup
but not playing
until the end.
Yes.
But they will be there watching. You know, they are not playing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Tom Bwana here with us. Very big critique of football, especially our administration. Our vice president has said it will take a miracle for Harambee Stars to get to the World Cup. I don't believe that.
I found that really weird from someone in an administration that says we're going to build stadia in all counties. We haven't seen them now. But then that said, I think he missed the point. We are on a good course. Yes. And I think starting with the AFCON 2015, I think we have a bright star for Harambee Stars.
We've not even started the qualifiers. We are still playing
pre-qualifiers, yes.
Tom, we are playing pre-qualifiers.
Yes.
Others are waiting for qualifiers.
Yes.
As we are playing two, not even one pre-qualifier.
They're waiting for us to get there.
No, that's why it shows you how low we are. As in, we have to improve, get rid of the worst of the teams. Then you are the best of the worst. Then come and play the best of the best. Surely.
But you see, we have to start somewhere, Mike. We have to start somewhere. And that's where we are at the moment. We cannot do much about it. That's where we are. We have to play the pre-qualifiers and get now to the qualifying stage if we do so.
I am with the Vice President.
That you're saying we cannot get anywhere?
Not anytime soon.
I
don't think in the next 20 years even. For as long as the system is the same, and I keep saying it without fear of favor, please, if you have to join this conversation, I am going to give out a jersey to the best contributor of this debate. Harambee Stars, hashtag Viva Brazil is what you use. Harambee Stars, what do we need to get to the World Cup? Because the VP has said himself, imagine he's the second in command in this country, and he does not believe that Harambee Stars can go anywhere. You think you'll just wake up and say, by the way, we cannot make it?
Mike, here's the story. Big things are never started by big people.
Yes.
These boys have already gone to Brazil. They've already seen. You see Jacob Kelly there saying that, hey, he thought Cristiano Ronaldo was some deity somewhere. But he just realized that, hey, this guy is just like us. They make the same errors like us.
And you expect that, what if we play that guy?
No, but you saw even
your attitude in the first place is,
here's the story.
Your opponent is your icon.
We saw the Nigerian goalkeeper Vincent Onyema trying to glorify Messi when they played. Nigeria played Argentina the other day. He actually was, imagine, we are playing with Messi the same day. It happens everywhere. In every sport, in every job, there are certain people you look up to.
And that is why we are not
wrong. There's nothing wrong with Jacob Kelly looking up to Cristiano Ronaldo.
There's nothing wrong looking up if he was a junior player. In the junior ranks, you're an upcoming footballer. Yes. You're an established footballer.
That's it.
You won the KPL Player of the Year award for crying out loud. Yes. Then you're glorifying another player from another country. You could say, I would excuse you saying, actually, he was a very good player. I've watched him at the World Cup. It's a great experience. But I say he's normal. He's just like us. I mean,
but now you see, he's demystified that notion that Cristiano Ronaldo is some demigod somewhere.
That you already had.
Now, at this moment, they can get out there and play. You remember, we have Kakawaweru who went to play when we went to Mali 2006 or 8. When he came and said, hey, I was marking Kanute. And I didn't believe I was marking Kanute. So he came up with some backache
he actually played with a fracture on his neck.
On his neck.
That is not.
But he managed to mark Kanute,
who scored and created 2 goals.
But now, see, these boys have gone there. They've demystified the notion that these guys are some demigods. And now we can only expect them to get better as we go forward.
Kudos to the president for taking these boys. Seeing is believing, as Jeremy said. Yes. You go there, you see how people are treated, you see the World Cup firsthand, you say, but then this will give me motivation to make sure that our team gets here. But Tom, surely, with a ranking that we've refused to break into the top 100 in this country, the best that we do from our own administration is wrangles after wrangles after wrangles. We are suspending people left, right, and center. We are not putting anything towards football development. We don't have youth structures. We don't have academies going on. The players that we have are efforts of private individuals to get them there. Tell me one player that has been groomed all through from high school to where they are. The likes of Victor Wanyama, the likes of Dennis Olech, if it was not for their own efforts and the efforts of their managers.
I agree with you, Mike. We haven't done much. Yes. But even these countries that are in the World Cup, it's not that they have very supreme structures in their countries. Cameroon is one, before the World Cup, they had all kind of wrangles. And now they're talking about match fixing. The team that motivates me in this World Cup is Costa Rica. When they came into the World Cup, they were ranked as the lowest in their group. There was Uruguay, there was England, there was Italy, and Costa Rica in that team. And people said, Costa Rica is an easy match. What happened? They beat Italy, they beat Uruguay, and drew with England.
Yes.
But you see, now that tells you that, hey, this thing is possible. However lowly you are ranked. I know Costa Rica is ranked above Kenya in this. But then that only tells us we can do it. Cape Verde did it in the Cup of Nations. Is it in Gabon?
They were actually qualifying for this World Cup. Was it not for boardroom decisions that said this player was not supposed to be? That's how Cameroon got here.
So what does that tell us? That tells us that however lowly we are ranked, our dreams are still valid.
You and your dreams. But my question is, Tom, as wind up, Bona Director was already saying move on. Bona Director, how do we take Harambee Stars from where we are to where we're supposed to be? Because don't tell me about administration, because administration is not going to do anything.
That's it.
All these countries that you hear about, Costa Rica's, the Cape Verdes of this world, we beat Cape Verde home and away in 2003 to qualify for 2004 Cup of Nations. But they went to the drawing board, they did everything right. Youth structures and developments, you can never run away from that. Where is it in our country?
Our problem mostly is about corporates shying away from the local league. Let's strengthen our local league. Once we have a strong local league, our league is really doing well. I was told last week that we are ranked number 5 best managed leagues in the world in Africa. We're ranked number 5. Now the corporates are shying away from this league, going to sponsor some other teams in countries. But then, if we try to put in money into the local league, I think we're going to get it.
That there is the problem that we have, that corporates are shying away. We need to find out why have corporates shied away. We've got sponsors that are there waiting, but they say we cannot put our money into football because of one thing, and that is administration. If we can streamline that, and I'm sure all the football stakeholders are listening to this, if we can streamline our administration, then the sky is the limit. We have the talent. If Origi is playing for Belgium, if Wanyama is playing in England, if Oliech has played in France, I believe there are tens of thousands of other players like those ones in this country that can do us proud.
We take a short break now. We'll be right back with so much more on Viva Brazil.